Hello, biology. The purpose of this video is to demonstrate how to continue working on your data presentation, uh, data tables and graphs assignment. So you should be watching this video on Friday. Miss Simon would have brought me your turned in data table and graph. That would be number 1 and 2 Thursday after school. I would have promptly stamped them and been given a ride back Thursday night to drop these back off. So if you only used the front page of your graph paper to do number 1 and 2, you certainly can do number 3, possibly even number 4 on the back page. So you'll need to get those back. If you used both the front and the back for number 1 and 2, you'll need a new piece of graph paper. So Miss Simon, you can pause the video now and get the kids back their papers and get the kids back some graph paper if they need them. So again, we're going to be working on number 3 and 4 today. This is a bar graph, and then basically just a line graph that you're going to label to make sure that you know what the parts are. So back to number 3. So we're doing a bar graph. This will be the most involved type of data presentation you do. There's just a lot of ruler work on it. So we are given the data, and then we're just taking this data and then putting it into another format. All right. So let's see. We're going to need 2 up to 43. So we need to figure out how tall the graph needs to be. So that's 41. We'll just call that 42 difference. 42 difference. So 42 divided by 2 is going to be 21. Okay, so 21. All right, so what I'm going to have you guys do on the back of your graph paper is put a number 3 in the upper left-hand corner. If you're starting out with a new piece of graph paper, put number 3 in the upper left-hand corner, and then please put your name in the upper right-hand corner. So if that piece of graph paper gets separated from your other piece of graph paper, you've got your name on both. But again, if you are using the same one that we already used, just flip it over, and you're going to put a number 3 in the upper left-hand corner. Then we're going to need space for a title. So right next to the 3, put title, dot, dot, and underline it like so. All right. We're going to skip down 3 boxes from the top. And let's see, we're going to leave a little bit of space on the left. So I want to come in 3 from the left and 3 from the top. That's where we're going to put our dot. 3 from the left and 3 from the top. That should give us enough room for 2 lines for our title, just in case we need it. All right, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a line down that is 22 down. 22 down. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 22. All right, so it's going to look something like that. All right, 22 down. Not a bad idea to count it after you draw it, just to make sure you did that correctly. And then we're going to take our x-axis all the way out to the edge. We will use most of that space, if not all of that space. Okay. So we set it up just like a line graph, okay? But instead of dots, plotted points, we're going to be creating bars. All right, so let's see. Back to our data. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different age groups. Okay, 8 different age groups. So we're going to have 8 different bars. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do a single box bar, and I'll show you what that looks like in a second. skip a couple lines in between each. So if I, hold on, let me figure this out. 1, so that's my bar, skip 2, that's my bar, skip 2, that's 2, that's my bar, skip 2, that's 3, that's my bar, skip 2, that's 4, that's my bar, skip 2, that's 5, that's my bar, skip 2, that's 6. Yeah, I'll have plenty of room. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put little tick marks like so. So I'm going to skip one line, come in to the right, and I'm just going to put 2 little marks. That's where my bar is going to be drawn. And my first one is 43 million. Okay. First thing, we need to put tick marks on the left side. So 2, 4, 6, 8. Here's what I'm doing so you guys can get started. Each one of these is going to represent 2 million. And we're going to take that all the way up to the top. Okay, so that's what it's going to look like. You're going to take those marks all the way up to the top. And then I'm going to label these. It's going to be a 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 6, 8, 30, 2, 4, 6, 38, 40, 42, and 44. Okay, so you're just basically increasing by 2, taking it up all the way to 44. So our first bar will be halfway in between the 42 and the 44. All right, so first population is 43. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my ruler, and I'm going to draw a line all the way up to the middle of that last box. Show you what that looks like in a second. Then I'm going to skip one line to my other mark. Remember, these marks are placeholders for where the actual bar is going to be drawn. And it'll look something like that. Okay, notice they are stopping in the middle to represent 43. You don't need to use a ruler to connect these. Most of you guys can freehand that and make it look pretty good. All right. And then at the top, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a 43. That will eliminate any confusion about what that bar actually represents. Okay, 43. We could shade these. That's just going to take a lot of time. And if you're doing it in pencil, it kind of might create some smudges. So we're not going to fill them in. All right. We do need to identify what age range that is for, though. And that represents 0 to 9. So as you can tell, in India, there are a lot of young children. Actually, India, if you take my AP Environmental Science class, you'll learn about this, but India is the fastest growing country in the world. And I think within a decade, they're supposed to surpass China. Crazy. And a lot of that has to do with the fact that they have a lot of their population is younger and not obviously 0 to 9. But the next age range in the teen years and 20s, they can have more kids. Okay, so we're going to put a 0 to 9. And what I'm going to do, we've got plenty of room in between these bars. I'm just going to write it 0 to 9. Matter of fact, I'm kind of a perfectionist when it comes to data presentation. I'm going to center that a little bit more. 0 to 9. Okay. Now I'm going to skip 2, put my 2 marks for my next bar, like so. All right. And the next one is 33. So I'm going to draw my lines up to in between the 32 and the 34. And this is where it comes in real handy to have a clear ruler, is because I'm not actually covering up the numbers. I can see through them. If you'd like to replace your ruler with a clear one, go for it. Or you could just simply put a dot like so. Just put a dot where you know the bar is going to top out. And then you can just simply connect the dots. So if you've got a metal ruler or a wooden ruler and you can't see in between them, that's another way to get away with that without making any mistakes. Okay, I'm going to top my bar. I'm going to write a 33 above it, like so. All right, and then that represents probably 10 to 19. Wow, 33 million people, 10 to 19. I don't know if this data is actually accurate. I know that China's got a large portion of its population that's young, so it's possible. But all right, skip 2 more lines. Put my 2 marks for my next. That one's going to 24, so I'm just simply going to draw lines up to the 24. That's going to be 20 to 29. As you can see. Okay, so I'm not going to do all of these because then the video is going to be really, really long. So in just a moment, Miss Simon, you can pause the video and let them finish this up. But I do want to talk about a few more things. Okay, so let's not forget about our labels, our X and our Y axis. So if we go back to the data table, this is age range in years. So I'm going to write age range, parentheses, years, like so. The y-axis is population in millions, so just like our graph for number 2. Okay, don't forget to label your y-axis. Why? Because I told you to. All right. And title. Okay, I'm not going to give you the title, but we're going to walk through the exact same exercise on how to come up with a good list of words or terms to use in the title. Okay, so like I said, first off, you always start with the columns of the data table or your X and your Y axis. So we're going to have population, let's see, age range, or age ranges. Okay, let's go back to the given and see what else we can put. Males. India. Well, the population certainly is decreasing as you get older in years. It's not decreasing at a constant rate. So I'm thinking we might want to put age ranges from 0 to 79. Okay. So here's what I got for my list. So we got population, males, age ranges from 0 to 79, and India. So I'm thinking maybe the Indian male population by age range from 0 to 79. Or the age ranges from 0 to 79 for Indian male population. Or the population, hold on, let me think about this. The population for age ranges 0 to 79 for Indian males. That sounds like a good one. See how you can say it a couple different ways and then all of a sudden, bang, that sounds like the best one. Always recommend piece of scratch paper, write it out a couple different ways, and then go, yeah, that one sounds the most intelligent. Okay. All right. So again, Miss Simon, you don't need to rewind the video or anything so they can write down exactly what I wrote. They have the information and the tools necessary to come up with their best title. Okay. All right. So you're going to pause the video. You're going to let the students, for the most part, finish this. They, of course, can finish the bar graph at home. But let's hop ahead to number 4. Okay. So we're going to do a line graph. So if you set up your graph like I did, you should have a decent amount of space at the bottom. If you have, I'd say if you're anywhere less than about here, grab a new piece of graph paper, or if you had a new piece of graph paper already, flip it over. All right, but you should have enough room for this graph. So we're going to put a number 4 on the next line down under where it says age ranges. We're going to put the word title again, so we don't forget. Come up with a good title. And we're going to drop down about 2 rows. So I'd like to be in 3 and maybe come down 2 rows from the word title. Put a dot. So about there. Okay. All right. And let's go back and look at our data. All right. Cooking temperature is going to be on our y-axis. And we go from 15 to 40, which is a difference of 25. Yeah, I think we're just going to do 25, 12. I think we've got enough room to go 12. We actually need to go 13. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, we're going to run out of room if we do it that way. Yeah, we'll just have to make it smaller. It's going to be just draw your line down 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's going to be kind of cramped, but that's okay. All we're going to do is label stuff, and we can just draw arrows. Cooking time 3 to 15. So why don't we just do those in 3s? So 3, 6, 9, 12. So it's going to be 6 down, 6 down, and 5 across. All right. Okay, cooking temperature in minutes, cooking time in minutes, beg your pardon, is going to be on our x-axis. So we're going to put cooking time. Let me show you before you start writing. And then in parentheses, I'm going to put mins, like so. Cooking time in minutes. On my y-axis, we're going to put cooking temp. Make sure to leave room for your numbers. Cooking temp is in degrees centigrade. So do that like so. We have plenty of room to put our numbers. I'm going to put tick marks at every spot. like so. Okay, cooking time. We're going to go 3 up to 15. So 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. Cooking temperature. First mark is going to be 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, and 40 on the top. Yep. So it's going to look like that. Okay. I would have liked to spread this out a little bit more, but we don't have enough room. All right. And let's see. I believe this is going to be homework for you. Yeah. So your homework will be, well, if you didn't finish the bar graph, obviously finishing the bar graph and coming up with a title. Let's see. Let me help you with a title for this one. Well, let's look at the data. Cooking temperature. You need less cooking temperature for more cooking time, which makes sense. So definitely a relationship. As the cooking time decreases, the cooking temperature increases. So we could use the word relationship between cooking time and cooking temperature. Yeah, that's a good title right there. The relationship between cooking time and cooking temperature. Doesn't say where it is, doesn't say if it's a certain altitude, doesn't say what type of food you're cooking. So yeah, so use that as your title. All right. And then number one, you have to plot the points. Okay, plot the points on the graph. Should be pretty straightforward. Cooking time, you've got an 8, so the 8's going to be in between the 6 and the 9. The 5 is going to be in between the 3 and the 6. You've got 15. The 10 is going to be in between the 9 and the 12. So you'll kind of have to guesstimate where those goes. But for the cooking temperature, you've got exact lines that you can put it on. So plot your points. Okay. Connect the dots with a ruler. Actually, you probably won't need to use a ruler because it's such a small distance to freehand it. But if you got to use a ruler, use it. But then you have to identify the x-axis, the y-axis. So you'll just draw an arrow towards the x-axis and then write x-axis. Draw an arrow to the y-axis and then write y-axis. Draw an arrow to the title and write title, and then draw an arrow to one of the plotted points and write plotted points. And remember, the x-axis is the one that goes across. Okay? All right, and you will turn these two in on Monday, and I will ask Miss Simon to bring those by my house Monday after school. I'll stamp them, and I'll have them back to her by Tuesday. All right, y'all, if you have any questions about this, of course, you can ask Miss Simon to send you the video. If you have any questions for me in general, you can email me at apollos@sanmon.edu, and I will see you next week.